So I want to talk about the stark truth behind PhD life. So, one of the things that you'll realize as soon as you get into it is that everybody feels like they're competing against everybody else, and everybody is making a display about how much better that they actually are than everybody else. I'm smarter than you, I have more publications than you, I'm taking harder courses, I go to a better school, all of those particular things. There is a lot that goes on behind PhD life that is really about displays of that I am better than you. And ultimately, what we have to remember with this is that it is simply just people being very insecure with who they are. And they're looking around and they're saying, I need to put this impression management. I need to display to other people that I am somehow significant. I need to tell other people that, wait a minute, look at me. I've done all of this kind of stuff and everybody should turn and recognize me. And really what it's coming down to is that those people have this deep-seated insecurity that has stuck with them for a long time. In that long time, what has happened over many, many years is that they've done well in public school, in elementary school, they've done well in high school, and then they do well in college, and then they could go and do well in graduate school. And what they're doing this whole time is that they're tying their self-worth to the outcomes that they receive in academic life. And we need to take a step back and say, wait a minute, is that really how my self-worth is measured? Now, lots of people might say, yes, that's what you should do. You should measure everything in terms of your self-worth, in terms of what you actually get and the outcomes that you get. And perhaps they are right in their mind. And I'd encourage them to go do that kind of stuff. But for me, what I recognize and what I do is I feel that that is not me. It's not how I recognize myself. I watched this really good video recently about Warren Buffett, and he is this, so if you don't know, I think he's the Oracle of Omaha. Basically, this guy is very wealthy, one of the wealthiest guys, and he's very well known for just investing in things and holding and doing long-term projects. And he's extremely wealthy, one of the most wealthiest people in this world, but he's also very, very modest in how he thinks about things. He was saying, when you're ready to die, there's one thing that happens in your mind. You look at, hey, we're all the same in so many dimensions. We all sleep on a bed. We all basically need shelter. We all drive around in a car, and who cares what that car actually looks like? We have all of these things that are very, very similar. And you look around and you think about what it is that will make me happy at that moment. At that point, you know what? Having a little bit of extra stuff is not gonna matter, right? Having an extra publication in this sense is not gonna matter when you're ready to die. And you're gonna look around and you're gonna think, who is willing to actually love me? Who's willing to care for me? And if you have some deep love or deep understanding or deep connection with just a few people, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And I know that's really hard to get at. And really, ultimately, that's what we're really striving for if you think about it. I do these things in academia. I make these impression management things to impress other people so they'll like me. That's it. I tell other people that I am somehow special than everybody else. Everybody will turn and say, hey, you know what? I really like you. But ultimately, when you do those displays, nobody likes you because they feel afraid. They feel nervous. They're not comfortable around who you are. And perhaps that you are so successful in this particular area, you're neglecting absolutely everything else that's going on in your life. I want you to take a step back and think about, so there was one other element that he talked about this story that Warren Buffett talked about in this story, that he had a friend that was in Auschwitz, right? So it was a Nazi or a Jewish death camp survivor. And this friend when he asked this friend about how they would handle, or what is the thing that they really want at the end. And the one thing that they said was, would this person that I'm connected with, would they actually hide me? That was a really powerful thing. So for those of you who don't know, what happened is that all of the Jews in Europe were, if they were hidden, they would sometimes survive from this disastrous episode. But sometimes those people that would hide, the Jews, they would be killed on the spot as well. And I know that is that's really tough to think about. But that's how you sort of think about things in this world. And there's only going to be one or two people that you'll ever say, hey, you know what? I actually trust them. I think that they actually would care for me. That's ultimately that matters, is that do they actually care for me? Do the people around me, do I actually have a strong relationship with them? I want you to sort of take a step back and think about, that's ultimately all we're striving to do. And if you look at that, if you think about that's the only thing we're trying to do, is to get other people to like me, to build those relationships, to have a little bit more strength, then you'll think about things a little differently. Okay, puppy dogs, come here. You can hear them. You can hear them going. Okay, Isabel, come say hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to take you down and I'm going to show you Isabel. There she is. There they go. And so that's what is going on in the background. I'm putting up with this every day. So I just want you to say and think about, wait a minute, what am I doing here? What is this all about? Do I actually need to do this kind of stuff? Do I make these displays? And yes, I know, I get it. You need to make those displays, but ultimately, who cares? What matters in the end is that you have a few friends that you really like. Maybe it's a few relatives that are close to you that you really want to be with. And the rest of it is irrelevant. So I want you to take a step back and think about that. All of that kind of stuff, that's people dealing with the things inside that they couldn't deal with before, and that's how they're dealing with things. They're measuring themselves by some external metric. But if you just go in, you do your work, you do your thing, you do what's asked, and you just keep being friendly, and that's all you can care for. That's all that matters at the end of the day. All that other stuff, that nonsense that you see around, all of that pizzazz and sort of status seeking and climbing and all of that kind of stuff, who cares? It doesn't matter in the end. The only thing that matters is the idea. You got to think about that idea, have fun with it, enjoy the process. The rest of it, man, it does not matter. You're never, ever going to get there if you have that attitude. You're always going to feel insecure. You're always going to feel like you're imperfect. And granted, I feel like that all the time. But at the same time, I'm working on my relationships, and that I have. And that I have a few people that I can count on, that they would hide me. I hope so. But, ultimately, that's all that matters. The rest of it, who cares? The stark truth of it all is that everybody's putting on displays because they're insecure about themselves. And if you can walk around feeling okay with who you are, it's all that matters. All right. Give me a thumbs up to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.